So, Sam, tell us, it's your first night of your World Tour. What can the fans expect?
Well, they can pretty much expect a pretty different show. I would say that this is going to be quite a departure. It still, to me, has a couple of throwback things, but it's pretty next level. It kind of follows suit, kind of rides in tandem with the new record and all of the outrageous shit that we're talking about.
I believe that you actually got some advice from Cirque du Soleil about all of this. Is that right?
Not myself personally.
Yeah, but that when you put the stage show together, did you consult with Cirque du Soleil?
Yeah, meaning their team is helping us put everything on, and designing everything. So it's a pretty next level show. Great professionals, amazing people to work with, and kind, cool, considerate. They're artists, and they just have just done amazing stuff.
What about the stage show itself? I mean, I presume you're taking the album as a theme for the stage show as well.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet to say. It's all kind of next level, fucking some futuristic additions, as well as keeping that edge and a little bit of the heaviness. It's definitely intense. But yeah, I'm just really excited to do something different, like we did with this record, and it's nothing short of that with the performance. Each time we try and push the boundaries, I don't think it's a very conscious effort, but it just happens. I mean, we're never not practicing and working on new ideas, and if you want to get geeky, like guitar techniques and vocal ideas and stuff like that. Everybody is really into just bettering themselves and working on their craft, and so it comes out in each iteration of Avenged Sevenfold. And this would be definitely next level in all sorts of aspects, and you try and learn all that stuff to forget it, so sometimes it's hard to play between, okay, there's a fresh idea I got and it's so hard to play, but I'm going to do it anyway, and then it just sounds like vocal or guitar gymnastics for no fucking reason, and you try and stay away from that. You want it to serve the song, and I think we achieved that, or at least we feel that way, but we would feel that way.
The stage, the first song on the album, it starts off with something that sounds right out of Bach. Was that, does classical music a big influence on your guitar playing?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always, students of the game, and that has always come from a deep love of the art of music, and that it's all encompassing, from that period to later periods to present periods, to trying to think of what will come next as well, and obviously Bach was a genius. I mean, probably heralded as the biggest contrapuntal genius, and so we try to do some stuff like that, and the coolest thing about Bach, since you mentioned him, is that the brilliance of him is they call him the hardest working guy in classical music, but you don't ever hear that. But if you take it apart, dissect it, there's so much shit going on. And it definitely rings true with Avenged Sevenfold. I wouldn't put us in the genius comparison or category, but I do feel like we're working really, really hard, but it's all serving the song. It's a controlled bit of chaos. And it's fun to do that with the arrangements of the songs, with the melodies, guitar solos, drumming, whatever it may be.
Tell us about your time there in Dublin. I mean, this is the first day of your World Tour. You've been practicing here for a couple of days trying to get the show together. Is that right? Yeah,
we have. So, I mean, this is the first. Most of us are from the States. There's a few from here across the pond, as we would say, but for the most part, even if you're not severely jet lagged, the dudes are just working so fucking hard that I mean, they deserve to be a part of our pay grade.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the hardest working people in the world sometimes are, out there doing their thing. But it's really, really cool what they've done, and it literally seems impossible when you see the show. And you might think tonight, okay, it's the first thing we've had days and days and days. But what the fuck are we gonna do when we show up, to London or here or there, and it's got to go up? I mean, it's magical. So they don't get nearly enough credit. We do our best to tell them, but they're fucking studs.
This is
creme de
the
creme.
the road your team that puts the show together.
The team that puts on the show every day. Yeah.
And where were you practicing the last couple of days? Was it?
We were here.
Oh, just in the 3 arena, yeah.
Yep, they were drinking water and coffee and building it. We were drinking Guinness and no water and watching them, and it was awesome because you get to see it, from conception and a lot of this stuff. I mean, it's probably going to be on YouTube or whatever, but all like the video wall and certain things that we're doing. Like, they're building content. All the stuff that you're seeing there is being developed right now. So if this happens in this part of the song or whatever, we want to change it. So you keep coming back as opposed to having like a soft good that, okay, we wanted to build a hard, like a king, he's there, and that's everything that's going to be there forever.
Yeah.
So he shows up, you see him in a venue, you're like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. You can't make him bigger, you can't make him smaller, that's just fucking gone. It's done. But this is like ever evolving, and we can change things. And so there aren't going to be, significant changes, but it's cool that there will be evolutions to this show. Be on YouTube checking it out and fucking making sure we play it perfectly, but also to make sure that all those points are on, and maybe we want more of this or more of that. So it's really exciting to do a show like that, have something different.
And are you thinking of bringing it to arenas and stuff, outdoor arenas and that? Is it made for that as well?
Yes, it's got to be a little bit dark. But now that we're very fortunate that the band has gotten to a point where we can headline most places, we're playing in darker, arenas or in arenas in the global term, all arenas.
In terms of, guitar players at the moment, I mean, where do you see the guitar? Because it appears to be disappearing in a lot of cases from mainstream music. Not obviously from metal, but from mainstream music.
Yeah, well, I'm a late comer to the whole social media thing, but I've posted 2 things so far, but let's not get into that. But if you go to Schecter and you check out their feed on Instagram and stuff, you see tons of shredders, and they're a very successful company, and they're on the up and up. I mean, they are doing so many amazing things, and they're working with such gifted musicians. I think the problem is we got to figure out how to get these guys into bands and throw a little bit of fucking money and at some people that will just put them into a studio with a fucking genius producer and give a little bit more of an A&R style thing, like the Beatles had. I mean, yeah, you can say that they'd write some pretty serious fucking songs without a George Martin, but look at there's definitely no doubt, knowing what we know and nothing more, that George Martin and guys like that fucking contributed unbelievably to these fucking bands. And so I think that's what's really lacking, but you can easily find incredible guitarists all over the place doing unbelievable type shit,
Yeah. Okay, so you are. I know this is the last question.
That's all good. I was a little late and I talked too much.
No, that's all right. That's all right. When I talked to Zach about you guys, can I just ask you about because you're in Ireland, right? About the Rev. I know he's dead 6 years now, but he did have a strong Irish connection. I gather that even on his gravestone there was an Irish inscription. Do you still think about him? Do you still miss him?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, everybody's lost somebody, and I think they all miss them incredibly. Do you miss them to tears every day? I'd like to say yes, but I would be lying. I don't miss him to tears, but you think of him. He makes me smile every day. He makes me still shake my fucking head every day, thinking about what an exceptional human being he was. And I think that's truly important. Then certain times you have, where it's not deja vu or whatever it is, but it feels like you just lost them. You'll have that surge of emotion, and it's fresh and new, and then it'll bring you to your knees and to tears. But every single day, many moments of the day, he's definitely missed and reflected upon and smiled at.